Our next speaker will be Mrs. Einat Kramer. She is a doctorate candidate here at the university, and she is the winner of the Decan Award for Social Engagement. She is co-leading the educational and spiritual section of the Presidential Forum for Coping with Climate Change. That's the most important here. She is a publicist and activist around climate change. The floor is yours.
Hello everybody. I'm really happy to be here. This is my home university. I'm a doctoral candidate here in the Hebrew University. My supervisor is Dr. Itai Greenspan, who is sitting here. And this is a good time to say him thank you for being such an amazing mentor, friend, and real mensch. My other supervisor, Dr. Tanchum Yore, is amazing as well, but he lives in Toronto, so he couldn't be here because it's very, very far away. As you heard from Hanoch, I'm mainly an activist, even a Jewish activist. I have to say I kind of devote my life into this, into bringing the message of environmental way of life that is rooted in our own heritage. Right now, I'm co-leading environmental, educational, spiritual forum that is related to the president in helping to cope with climate change. I have my own organization called Teva Ivrit, Jewish Nature. This is promoting this in the Israeli society. And I'm even an activist in my own community in Bet Knesset Ashira in Mazkeret Batya. As an activist, many times, sometimes I find myself sitting with researchers that ask me, again from social science, that I used to ask me, did you succeed? I mean, you are working so many years, like 15 years, you're running this thing about connecting between Judaism and environment. Did you succeed? Did the reality change? Did the society actually change? And every time I had to answer them, I don't know. I don't have the tools. I don't have the perspective. And mainly, I don't have the time because as an activist, you never have the time because there is so much things to do and life are so short. That's why when I decided to devote a big part of my time to doing research, I knew exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to check it out, to check if it works, to check if there is a connection of constantly talking about eco-theologic ideas and the change of the Israeli society. By that, I also answer the call of Chalutza Delay, who made a review about religion and climate change, variation in viewpoint and practice. And he ended this review by calling the practical effects and the potential benefits or barrier to religion engagement with human-induced climate change need tested by social scientists. The currently limited body of research need methodological, geographical, and topical expansion. So this is exactly what I intend to do, and in the next, 12 to 15 minutes, I'm going to share with you a glimpse from the researchers. This is in the beginning stages. So if you want to check what is happening, you have to find a case study. My case study is the Shemitah year in Israel on the 21st century. I chose the Shemitah as a case study. First of all, because of the halachic implementation. My colleagues here talked before about how much the halachic can give you sometimes a way to look at things, to open your eyes to look at things about connection of human nature. When talking about the Shemitah, the halachic implementation, simple implementation, yes, not heter bechira, etc., is all about environment. You let the earth to heal, you stop working here for a year, you open the field and you have environmental justice, everybody can go and take whatever they need, and the society is being bound together because there is less food that need to become for everybody. So the halachic implementation is one reason that I chose this nice mitzvah of Shemitah. The other reason is because of the time perspective. The Shemitah is happening exactly once in 7 years, and that's how you can see processes over the years, like every 7 years. Okay, what is happening? What is people talking about? What are they doing? It's really make it easier to see. Like if I would take Shabbat, it's every week. Who knows what happens? And the last reason is inspiration. The Shemitah year give us, and vision, give us inspiration from all stream of Jewish society. Each one from his, sometimes I feel like from his own things that he believes in, give him inspiration to change. You see here a picture of the Chief Rabbi of Israel signing a declaration of the Israel Shemitah 2014, Tafshin I will just read you a small part of it. It is a year of social involvement, spiritual and ethical renewal, and a deep environmental reflection. It is a gateway in time, once in 7 years, a renewal of the covenant between human and earth. It is a year that leaves a distinct impression on the subsequent 6 years. If from some reason somebody who's sitting here doesn't know what Shemitah is all about, I brought here like the main source of the Shemitah, being read by the Minister of Environment on Israel. אוי, למה ככה? And you will never know. Okay, I will try again, and if not, I will...
בספר ויקרא פרק כ"ה במעמד הר סיני מתואר ציווי שנת השמיטה. כשאלוהים פונה למשה ואומר, 6 שנים תזרע שדך, 6 שנים תזמור כרמך, ואספת את תבואתה, ובשנה השביעית שבת שבתון יהיה לארץ, שבת לאדוני. שדך לא תזרע וכרמך לא תזמור, את ספיח קצירך לא תקצור, ואת ענבי נזירך לא תבצור. שנת שבתון יהיה לארץ. והייתה שבת הארץ לכם לאוכלה, לך ולעבדך ולאמתך ולשכירך, לתושביך הגרים עמך לבהמתך ולחיה אשר בארצך, תהיה כל תבואתה לאכול. כלומר, תראו איזה ציווי יש פה. קחו פסק זמן, עזבו את כדור הארץ, עזבו את הטבע לשנה, נצלו את השנה הזו כדי להטיב, לא כדי לפגוע. לא רק עם האנושות ולא רק עם עצמנו ועם בני עמנו, אלא יש פה גם ציווי חברתי, לסביבה עליה.
Okay, I will stop here because she talks a lot. It's a really nice word, and it's really nice that she said it. She said it in a conference named מה עניין שמיטה למשבר האקלים? What is the connection between the שמיטה and משבר האקלים? I met her last week and I told her that this part is going to be viral, so here we start it now together. My research area is the area of eco-theology, and in the eco-theology, the stewardship, a branch of eco-theology related to humankind as those tasked by God to protect and care for the world that God created. I put a picture of somebody sleeping because we want to wake everybody up. But I'm not only talking about stewardship, I'm talking about Jewish stewardship. As we saw before many times, the Jewish people take another step forward, not only give us good ideas to think of, cosmological idea, be inspired by, and do something about it, but go to the bottom line, what should we do? We are doing it by the halacha, who is trying to translate these big ideas into small action. People who keep the halacha know it, that all the time you have to take big ideas like God is one, and translate it to many, many small steps that you do from the minute you wake up until the minute you go to sleep. And to a specific place, the place of Israel, the connection between the land of Israel and the nation of Israel, and what she asked for us. So, study one that I'm going to show you now is a study of media discourse. The study topic is eco-theological discourse about the Shemitah as reflected in Israeli newspapers. I chose 2 sources of elitistic printed media, Haaretz and Makor Rishon. Anybody here reads Haaretz? Okay, yeah, me too, I have to say. Anybody here reads Makor Rishon? Okay, me too. Okay, so I don't have to say this is 2 elitistic newsletters, but for different audience. Haaretz usually go to left-wing, liberal, not everybody, yes, but you know, when we think about it, secular audience, and Makor Rishon to more conservative, more right-wing audience. That's why I chose these 2 newspapers. The time span that I chose was the past 3 Shemitah years, תשע"ה, תשס"ח ותשפ"ב. I started to take the samples from half a year before the Shemitah started, because I was thinking maybe then people start talking about how the Shemitah is going to be. And I stopped 1 month after the Shemitah ended, because I thought maybe people would like to summing up what happened, what was good, what was bad. After having all these samples about each and every article that had the word Shmita, Shabbat Haaretz inside it, I was looking for environmental keywords like green, nature, environment, eco, sustainability, resources, creation, etc. And responsibility, stopping, guarding, balance, you got the spirit. At the end I had 42 articles that had these words, and this is the articles I kept working with. Preliminary findings, key themes. We found that if I take all these 42 articles and looking for key things, I find amazing 3 key themes that are connected to stewardship. I wasn't sure because I thought maybe it's because it's my dream, this is what I found. So another 2 researchers did the same searching and learning, and we got into the same idea, so probably it's there. So universal, everything between humans and creation, cosmologic, what are we doing in this world, what is the connection between us and the things that we own or don't own, us and the resources in nature, and all this area. 33% of the articles had this issue inside them. Particular, what is connected between the nation and the land? Does the land of Israel ask us for something? Does it need anything from us? It was only in Makor Rishon, I have to say, but it was actually there. And a practical, a call for a sustainable way of living. 64% of the articles actually said at the end like an action item. And therefore, we should do this and that and that, and that's why we should live that and that. 12% were about the halacha, and that's why the halacha is the right way to do Shemitah in an environmental way. And another 52 were about inspirational way of living. I gave you some quotes, beautiful quotes, you will enjoy. Universal, I brought a very good article of Arav Ben Ilau, who got the headline. You know that the headline in the newspapers is written by the editor, not by the person who writes the article. So the headline was, "A total harmony of man and nature," even though the article wasn't about harmony. And this is what he wrote. Shemitah presents a spiritual challenge for each one of us who lives in a society in which humankind threatens to control the world while being a part of the world. The commandment of Shemitah is a spiritual reality in which humans clarify their proper place in creation, reduce their ownership of it, and make space for all the existence. For the second theme, I gave you a really nice piece from 2021. In Makor Rishon, the writer is Elad Ifrach, if you know him. He's working a lot with agunot to help them to get out of bad marriages. And this is what he wrote about the Shemitah, about the connection between the nation and the land. As it is, when repaired a romantic relationship, so too, this repair begins with restoring the feminine autonomy. If during the first 6 years the land was possessed by humans and served them faithfully, in the 7th years it goes free, and the land will rest as a Shabbat to God. This reveals apparently an independent standing before God, one that doesn't pass through humans. נכון? As an example to the third idea, the practical, a call from the Shemitah, לא. Okay. For...
This is the end of Shemitah.
כן, אשכרה. A sustainable way of living, I brought 2 because I couldn't choose. The Shemitah is a call for creating a bubble in time in which economic activity is meant to slow down, to cultivate compassion, mercy, and partnership between all who share the land, including the animals of the field. During the 8th year, the race continues because humanity needs it. But the idea and the memory of Shemitah permit beyond the sabbatical year itself into the 6 years of creative haste. And the other one is for Arav Yaakov Ariel. If you know him, he's like a very, very known Rebbe. It was a part of a pulmus, if the Shemitah is social or not social. After what he said, now everybody thinks it's social. In 2021, there was no pulmus about it anymore. It was like a common knowledge. As mentioned before, Shemitah is a social commandment. It should be used as a sort of inspiration for reducing economic gaps and social polarization. If we look at the time dimension, we find out many interesting things. The first one is that, yes, this is, the eco-ecology is going after the scientific conversation. You can see it even in the words. Talking about Shmita and using the word sustainability started only in Shmita Tafshin'Ayin 2014. Talking about Shmita, talking about climate change, only in this Shmita 21 Tafshin Pei Bet. The other thing that we found out is these ideas started in the general public. Yeah? Both of the writers that I showed you before, we know them. They're rabbis in Zionist religion rabbis, and they chose to write their essays in Haaretz and not in Makor Rishon in 2007. In 2014 and 2021, the rabbis are going home, and the Makor Rishon starting having the discussion about Shmita and enlarge it. Each year we have more and more articles about the Shmita. The last thing that I found out that there is a real move from social environmental into internal discourse. In Makor Rishon, if in 2007, only we were talking about, היתר מכירה, or this, or that, where the budget are going to. In 2014, the big pulmus, is the Shmita environmental or social or not. And in 2021, this is a common knowledge, but everybody starts thinking, what does it say to me? What does it say about my tikkun hamidot, about my connection to my belongings, to the universe, etc., as we see around us as well. It's happening in many places. From idea to action, I said already, and I will not share with you study 2, even though it's interesting as well, because if study 1 was taken from the discourse into the reality, into what's happening, study 2 I went into activists and asked them, what motivates you? What do you want us to do? So you will have to wait, 2 years from now. And I will just want to finish in saying one thing. When we invited people to this place, so it was written, Humanity Future, does Jewish thought have anything to say? So now I say it as an activist. Yes, Jewish thought has to have a lot to say, and it shouldn't do it alone. It should do it with the society, sciences. We have to give good ideas and good case studies, and to learn how to make it happen, how to make it work. And then, יתקיים בנו, כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר השם מירושלים. תודה רבה.